Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, a hearty good morning to you. It's not a victory Monday. It is a disaster Monday. It is a bitch and moan Monday. Oh, it's a lot of all of that. Quite frankly, the worst loss I've seen for the Buccaneers in maybe going back to 2013, given the circumstances. Absolutely unacceptable on so many levels. It's as ugly as it gets on so many levels. And we're going to give you some really good information this morning. Rondé Barber has a great wrap-up of what he is seeing. We got a clip from a podcast that he was on. We're hopefully going to get him on this week to discuss. I got some great text messages. I've been texting back and forth with some former players last night and tonight that I want to read you a couple of them. So bad that they just want to be anonymous, and that's fine. I promise you these are players that are close to the situation, have recently played, and know exactly what's going on. And I'm going to give you my take on it. Nick's got some takes as well to give you what's going on. We're going to hear from Brady and Bowles, and I think some very telling press conferences, and we're going to say some things that will probably rock your world today. So sit back and relax. This is going to be a fun show if you like bitching and look. Here's the bottom line. And by the way, good morning to you, Nick Geddes, outsider.com, big Bucs fan. It was a bad weekend for you, I know, in your UCF nights also.
God, I don't even know if I want to get to that one. Yeah. I think I tied a bow on that last night on the Charge On podcast.
Yeah.
But good morning. I really don't know if it's a good morning. You just mentioned it, the worst loss you've seen since at least 2013.
Yeah.
I'll sum it up because I said it last week after the Pittsburgh loss. I said that was the worst loss I had ever seen for this franchise, given the talent on the field and the opponent.
Yeah.
And somehow they've outdone themselves.
Yeah.
It got worse.
They get worse.
A 3-possession loss to the 1-5, now 2-5 Carolina Panthers, who were begging you to beat them.
It's unbelievable.
It's actually I can't even process it still almost 24 hours later.
I know. And by the way, we're brought to you by Emerging Investigations, emerginginv.com at the Jeeves Law Group in our first hour, JEEVES lawgroup.com. I was going to come on here and do an incredible rant and rave, but I did that last week. I've done it for a couple weeks in a row because I saw this coming in the Atlanta loss, and then we saw it last week in the Pittsburgh loss. And this was, I don't want to say, to me, it was not unexpected. It really wasn't. The way this team has been playing certainly foretold that even with the Panthers down 3 defensive backs again, their third string quarterback, they fired their coach. They got rid of Robbie, their best wide receiver, and Christian McCaffrey. There has never been a team more ripe for getting their ass kicked, and had more reason to just be down in the dumps. And so I think what's lovely about this scenario in terms of understanding what's going on is you had the perfect setup, right? The perfect setup to win a game, and the perfect setup to go out and show you that if you have a team that's highly motivated, doesn't matter the talent, but is highly motivated against a team that doesn't give a rat's ass right now, quite frankly, they don't care. You could see it in the body language yesterday. They don't care. They're defeated. They're done. Like Dan Orlovsky said this morning, it's like, I have hope for you saw Aaron Rodgers come out to the podium, at least show some fire. It's like, no, goddamn, we're going to get better. We're going to get better. And then, we'll play Tom Brady, and he's just, he's got no answer. He's got no fight left in him. None. And I would say the same about Bowles. There was just nothing there. No anger, no nothing at that press conference. It's just, what are we doing here? I mean, it's awful on so many levels. But just in general, you're begging a team to just, if you're going to get right, these last 2 games were get right games. And you didn't even come close, really, to winning the games. You didn't. I mean, you can look at the Pittsburgh score and say, yeah, but no. In this game, just so many ridiculous situations that you just get blown out. You can't tackle anybody. You don't want to tackle anybody. The worst run fits I've ever seen. There's no emotion on defense. Nobody wants to really even be out there offensively. Look at, I'm going to go ahead and say it. 12 is awful right now. He is awful. He is awful. And I'll tell you, and Byron Leftwich is terrible as well. The offensive line is awful. The receivers can't catch the ball. And as one of these former players said to me, and I think this is so illustrative of what's going on. The interior offensive line and tight ends are what made Brady the best. They have the worst of both. Absolutely 100% true. And when you go back and you look at the offseason, and, I took the bait. I thought that they'd done enough, and then when Jensen went down, what did I say? You got to make a move. You got to do something in the interior. You have to go out and get one or two guys in the interior offensive line or you're toast. And what did Jason Light do? Nothing. He did nothing. Now, I understand there wasn't a lot out there, but there were some things out there. There were some players out there that you could have given up more to get, but you didn't. You thought that you could go with Luke Gedeke and Robert Hainsey. It didn't work. I said from the very beginning, I said that is not going to work. And to me, that is the main problem because right now, Tom Brady refuses to step into throws. He cannot get out of the way. He dirts the ball too quickly. He throws the ball away too quickly. There was a play in the second half where he had a perfect pocket, and I mean a perfect pocket. And Godwin's running it out and has 3 yards of separation, and he misses him by 3 yards. That's not Tom Brady. That is not Tom Brady. That's not the number 12. So I'm going to tell you right now, folks, if I were the coach, if you're just looking at that number and how that guy's playing, I'd bench that dude. Because in this offense, he needs to be protected. He needs to have time for guys to get open. He can't do that. I'm not saying, bench Brady. No. But if you have an offense like this, that you can't protect the quarterback, you don't have separation. Do you know this? The Bucs are 31st in top-end speed. They're almost the slowest team in football. So I'm telling you, when you have an offensive line and you have great receivers and you have Gronk, that's tailor-made for Tom Brady's skill set. When you have a horrible offensive line, you can't run the football. You have receivers that can't get separation. Having number 12 back there is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And having an offensive coordinator that has no imagination, all these things add up to you can't put 12 back there. And I'm not putting it all on him, but he's awful right now because of the entire scenario. And here's the thing. And you still let the guy go to a wedding and not come back for a walkthrough? I say, now you guys look back and you go, why did we ever let that happen? I told you last week it was an awful idea. And not just because what he missed, because if the walkthroughs aren't important on Saturday morning, then why do them?
I'm past the whole wedding story.
The point is, you're doing things that you've never done before in your career, Tom Brady. He's clearly not mentally into it at all whatsoever. He's part of the problem. Nobody wants to say it. It's the elephant in the room. The emperor has no clothes. He's awful. He's inaccurate. He's missing guys that are wide open on the 3rd and 10 play down by the end zone when it was a 14-0 game. He's so locked in on Godwin, who's surrounded by 16 people. Russell Gage is standing in the back of the end zone and wide open. It's a 10-yard throw. It's nothing. And he misses them. He's been doing that for a lot because he's scared of he's looking at the rush. He has no confidence in his offensive line. It is a debacle on every level. And here's the thing. I don't see how they fix this. Listen, if Jensen can come back and they can move Hainsey to left guard, you got a shot. You got a shot to finally get some protection that he trusts. And Jensen maybe can help out in the running game as well. But then in third quarter, you're 3rd and 1 in scoring position, and you have I put this piece of tape on Twitter this morning. You've got 21 guys. The safety's 10 yards off the ball. He'll soon be 4 yards off the ball at the snap because they know you're going to run it. You're in triple tight formation. There's literally 21 guys within 15 yards in 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and you somehow think that your offensive line is going to push people, and you're going to get a yard up the middle. And then you go outside, you pitch the ball to Leonard Fournette, who is not your fastest guy. If you're going to go outside, get the guy who's got vision, and that's Rachaad White. And Mike Evans, I don't even think he touched his guy on a sweep, and the corner comes right in and takes Lenny's legs out. Mike Evans he used to be a good blocker. He doesn't even give a rat's ass.
Well, here's
it's such a debacle.
You mentioned Mike Evans, and I almost wanted to start there. I didn't really know where to begin, but let's start at the top. we've talked about the Bucs needing explosive plays, pushing the ball downfield, and you want to talk about getting the right look. A corner falls down, a poor backup corner or whatever it was falls down. Mike Evans is running wide ass open on the first drive of the game, third play of the game or whatever it was. And Brady throws a perfect ball.
Perfect.
And Mike Evans, who, when we talk about problems on this team, I have not one time mentioned Mike Evans. And he became a problem right away yesterday. I mean, you want to talk about setting a tone. If he catches that football and runs in for 6, I don't think anything we see after that happens.
Bull crap. Sorry.
I think it changes.
No, that's not football.
I think
that's
it changes.
Not football. That's not football.
Okay.
So the entire thing. So somehow you're going to change the players up front that can't block anybody. You're going to somehow change.
I think it's a mentality
that changes
thing.
The play calling.
Listen, Mike Evans said it for better or worse after the game. Mike Evans got up there and said, "Yeah, it took the life out of us." Which is damning, by the way. It's very damning, but it happened. They said it took the life out of them, and it looked like it.
If you're that,
you don't know. That could have changed things.
If you're that mentally fragile, that one play at the beginning of the game takes the life out of you, sorry, you ain't winning that football game.
I think
you ain't winning that football game.
I think they are a mentally fragile football team.
Of course they are.
I think that's apparent to everybody.
Yeah.
But that one play summed it up, though. And it just
sums it up, but
feels
it shouldn't
like
beat you.
It shouldn't beat you, but I'm saying Mike Evans almost basically said it.
Yeah.
He basically said
played like the light went out of him. That's for damn sure, because he didn't block. He didn't, he made a couple of plays.
He actually said it took me a long time to get back into the game.
Well, bro,
which is shocking statement from someone like Mike Evans.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I said it last week. This thing is so dysfunctional right now. It's on so many levels. The play calling is awful. The coaches don't trust the players. The players don't trust the coaches. You got factions over here, factions over here. Let's listen to Rondé, because I think he summed it up so well. And trust me, this is a guy that is still very much involved in the organization and really hates to cross these guys. But when you trust me, what he says here, when he turns it off, is 20 times worse when he turns it off. And this is pretty damning.
Yeah, the Brady problem is what it is. I think at this point, he doesn't look like himself. And whether that's because he doesn't trust his offensive line or if he's got some other behind the scene issues going on, that to me is pretty apparent. But what's really kind of questioning me is, are the coaches giving him the right plays? Are they giving the team the right plays? Are they preparing the same way as they have in the past? Because this team, as dominant as it has been over the past 3 years with Brady, not to be able to score more than 3 points against a Carolina team that has 1 win without 3 of their top defensive backs and starting a third-string quarterback pretty much sums it up. And I think the story of the Bucs so far, at least here in these games where they've played pretty poorly, is missed opportunities, not only on offense. Obviously, Mike Evans had the missed deep pass early in this game, but not being able to move the chains, right? Those are missed opportunities if you're Tom Brady, because that's how you dominate teams, and that's what he's done his whole career. But also on defense, missed opportunities to make plays on the ball, specifically missed tackles, which this team has always been really good at. It's not happening. So to me, that speaks to motivation. That speaks to, actually waking up and getting ready to do your job on a day in and day out basis. And this does not look like that team right now.
Wow. Did he miss anything there? Motivation, opportunities. I mean, this defense, by the way, there were times in the third quarter where they were giving the ball back to the offense and they did squat. And then they just kind of quit. You give up a touchdown, 77 yards, 2 runs in a row, by the way.
I think it's
Devin White is just clueless.
45.
It's terrible. We've been telling
you this whole week, like, if you want to send a message out, you've got to sit him down.
That's what I'm
saying. If anybody
saying.
Needs to sit,
yes,
it's Devin White. My eyes, I can't take it. I can't take him overrunning every angle. The running backs in that Christian McCaffrey was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Rasheed Blackshear, I think his name was. And what's the other one? Deonta Foreman.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? This Bucs defense has been able to run or stop the run against every elite running back for the last 3 seasons.
Choking on the stench.
And you're giving,
team.
I don't blame you. And you're giving up 177 yards to that duo.
Yeah.
And that quarterback. That guy was the 4th-string quarterback in training camp.
Yeah.
The Bucs have an unbelievable ability to have these games where they make these, bums look good. And they did it yesterday. This should never, ever happen. And Rondé said missed opportunities. This is the weird thing. When you look at things that go wrong, turnovers. The Bucs aren't turning the ball over,
No.
and they're not creating turnovers. They're just getting their ass kicked.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it worse. It's not
Yeah.
like they're doing anything. I don't want to say they're doing things wrong, but they're not turning it
Not
over.
like they're having horrible luck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just getting their ass kicked.
Yeah.
How do you fix that?
That's why I think, you saw some guys like the whole Get Up crew this morning is like, nah, they're done. They're done. It's because of personnel.
They are. They're cooked.
Look, because of personnel. Look, I hate to tell you this, but Joe Tryon's not a good player. We missed the old JPP, and not to say that he's great anymore, but we're not getting any production there. We miss Ndamukong Suh. Akeem Hicks has been a whiff. Russell Gage is a non-factor. He's been a whiff. Kyle Rudolph has been a complete
can't play
whiff.
Anymore.
Keanu O'Neal, I love the way he knocks people out, but he misses too many tackles. Now Antoine Winfield is down. That entire defense melted down in the second half.
Zion
McCollum is awful. He's young.
He was put in a bad situation.
Yeah, but their third corner.
But that's what I'm saying. The Steelers could do it.
Yeah, right.
The Steelers could do it.
Yeah.
The Panthers can do it.
And let me just ask you this: if Tom Brady was sitting here with 3 picks today, and all 3 of them thrown into bad coverage situations, would you have a different opinion of him? Because guess what? They dropped 3 picks.
They dropped 3 picks.
They dropped 3 picks. He threw right to him.
Yes.
And when double coverage with bad reads.
Yeah.
If that was on the scoreboard, first of all, the score would be a hell of a lot worse. You would have a different opinion, right? And that's just guys dropping.
I haven't
picks.
even gotten to Brady.
Horrible. He's playing terrible football.
I haven't gotten to Brady.
And honestly, you'd have a better chance with Blaine Gabbert in there because at least he can escape the rush and break a play. I'm not saying. I'm not. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
He is not playing well. Okay, I don't think anybody should be fooled by that. Stop looking. I mean, I love Pro Football Focus, but I'm not going to rely on them. My eyes can tell me what Brady's doing. I need to go back and watch the tape later when it's available.
It's awful. It's awful.
But it didn't look good. It didn't look good watching it there. But there are other things wrong. I mean, here's the problem to me with the Bucs, and I keep going back to coaching, and I've been pointing the finger like everybody has at Byron Leftwich. I'm pointing the finger at Todd Bowles today. You got to have your team ready to go. To me, you didn't have your team ready to go.
It's an issue.
This team, we talk about teams taking on the identity of their head coach, and I don't really think much of that. But I got to tell you, yesterday,
it's pretty freaking obvious.
I mean, every time they showed the sideline, I don't see fire.
Yeah,
I see a team that has no answers.
Yeah.
Everybody's just talking about, we just need to execute. No, it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
You have deeper issues. And I'm looking at the running game, which has been a problem.
Yeah.
They're on pace to have the worst running game since the Chargers in 2000.
They keep running it
and
in crucial situations.
And they keep doing it.
Awful. It's so bad. All right, we'll take a quick break. Dan Lucas is going to join us from News Channel 8. He's been following this team and been in the locker room all year long. I want to get his thoughts on where the mindset of this team and where he sees the problems at. Then we're going to get to Brady and Bowles press conferences. So much more to get to. We got 2 hours to break it all down. We're going to do some baseball in this as well. We got some college football notes all coming up. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old. It's like
Is it taking a toll on your relationships and your work life? Are you having trouble focusing, constantly anxious? Well, you may not be surprised to know that your fellow military vets have your six. Heroes Mile is a new concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigation, Tampa Bay's #1 private investigation agency. Somebody needs to investigate what's going on over there at One Buck Plates. Good God. It's awful. And the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Check them out. All right, let's bring in our good friend Dan Lucas from News Channel 8. He's been traipsing all over points yonder with this football team, going into the locker room before and after wins and losses. Have they won a game, Luke? I can't remember when they won a game. The Falcons game felt like a loss, so I can't remember when I've actually felt good about this team. Maybe Dallas? Maybe?
You know, it's funny, that Dallas game, I remember sitting there thinking to myself, okay, you know what? They got the win, and, boy, the defense dominated, and, boy, I can't wait till this comes together.
Yes,
This team's going to be really good because they got to win that night on a night they weren't great. And here we are, several weeks later, scratching our heads. The problem is our mentality outside of the building, and especially for the fans who are really upset today, is it's hard to look at the big picture, the math, the standings, the seedings, and think that maybe this at some point turns around. They've got time to get on a run like Tony Dungy's team did back in the mid '90s.
Yeah.
And make us feel good about ourselves, because right now it's doom and gloom, and in football there's bottom line, wins and losses, and then there's how those wins and losses happen.
Yeah.
I don't think any fan wants this to be like figure skating where we're going for tens, but we want results, and it's a dirty, gritty game where sometimes you got to slug your way to the result. And right now the Bucs aren't even slugging their way to get to a result. That football team yesterday, like it was the Lovie Smith Bucs.
Yeah, it was.
It was demoralizing.
Yeah, but the talent on this team, well, you say that. There are pieces, but the talent is not what it's been in the past couple of years. That's incredibly obvious. What are the main problems as you see it right now, Dan?
Well, the offense is probably the most obvious that all of those of us can really see. Plays work or they don't. Obviously, the run game, the short run game. I think we've talked over and over and over about it. One thing that's that I find odd, they get in these 3rd and longs, 3rd and 8, anywhere between 3rd and 8 and up, and the ball is going to be thrown to Chris Godwin 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
and Godwin's not even at the line to gain yet, and the ball is thrown in the dirt 1 yard in front of him. Now, I know this is probably by design to make it so only he can catch it. And so, I would think that when you're diagramming the plays, it's a very safe play, but it's not being executed, and you're not even giving your guy a chance to get to the first down.
No.
Even if he catches that football, a lot of times he's short.
Yeah.
So there's just some crisscrossing going on, and things that just don't make sense.
No,
they don't make sense. And maybe maybe that was the Gronk play from the past.
Yep.
3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. Maybe it was. Maybe Cade Otton evolves into that, where he could become more of a trustworthy option. But there's nothing working.
Yeah.
And I can't figure it out.
To that point, the Bucs are 9% on 3rd and 7 or longer. 4 for 43, Dan, on 3rd and 7 longer with the GOAT. With Tom Brady, the most accurate passer in the history of the game, still has life in that arm. 4 for 43. What? And a lot of that is what you're saying. First of all, every team knows he's going to Godwin, and he's locked in on Godwin. I'm telling you, Dan, I broke down the tape twice last night because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He's so inaccurate at times, a lot of times. He's missing guys that are wide open. He's locking into receivers. He's playing like a rookie, bro. It's awful to watch. It's terrible. And like I said earlier, if you can't protect Tom Brady, he has no confidence that he can step into a throw. The only one he stepped into was that seam route to Godwin or Evans. It was a beautiful throw. And it was like, oh, that's the old Tom Brady. Next pass is the same old back foot. Has Godwin wide open on an out route, and he misses him by 4 yards with a perfect pocket. Like, how do you explain that?
It's been hard to watch and even try and fathom for sure. And I know that he shares, I believe he really, in his own mind, takes a lot of the blame, puts it on himself. He's at least saying the right things after the game. He never says much, but at least he's, I think he believes what he speaks and the fact that they've got to get this figured out. But the other thing I'm seeing with him is I guess I'll call it lack of mobility. It's becoming a bit of an issue, I think. I know in Pittsburgh there was a play when I thought he could have run into the end zone, but he had there was no chance he was getting in.
Had that piano on his back.
Yeah. So I just and I think that football is one of those sports, particularly when you're running an offense, where it's a team sport. There's a scheme, but there's 11 individuals that have a role. It's tough to go 11 for 11 on every single play. And it feels like with the Bucs, if 10 of 11 are doing their job, that one liability, it just blows the play up. That's where this is right now. And that becomes infectious in a bad way. Mike Evans said, in the locker room yesterday, he said the right words. He said, listen, I obviously explained the drop at the beginning of the game. And he said he felt the air go out. Yeah. And I believe him. And that is a cardinal sin in pro sports when things aren't going well, because that brings in the woe is me, here we go again mentality. That exists in this game. And there's teams that can't get through it, and there's teams that grind and get through it. And the Pittsburgh game, as dejecting as that was, this was tenfold for me, because when it was 14-0, it was over.
Right.
And when this, they 21-3 and they try the 4th down pass and Otten falls down and Brady throws into what should have been a pick. The game was over before that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. The Panthers are terrible.
Yeah.
The Panthers are terrible.
Awful.
They walked into that building demoralized. The Carolina Panthers walked into their own building demoralized. They just lost Christian McCaffrey hours before. McCaffrey was going to suit up for the 49ers. That is just a punch to the you-know-what.
Yep.
They walk in there. It was a sea of red. Bank of America Stadium yesterday. The Bucs, it was sitting there. Glorious Bucs day. It was sitting there for them. The Panthers started to believe.
Yep.
And you can do it in the NFL. You can believe it's not sustainable in the Panthers sense. It's not sustainable because they're going to get figured out real quick and be right back in the problems they were in. But one day they got it going. They believed it happened. Yeah. And they look like the first place team.
Yep. Yeah. I thought it was a really non-competitive 3 hours for the Bucs offense. But, you mentioned the Mike Evans quote, and we talked about that in the first segment. When you hear stuff like that, and that's a guy, by the way, he's seen a lot worse. He's been in a lot worse situations. You don't expect that kind of quote from him, but it just makes me question, JPP's not here. Ndamukong Suh's not here. Gronk's not here. Marpet's not here. Jensen's not here. It's a lot of guys I'm saying that are not here that have played. Arians isn't here. Do you think that leadership, you can speak to the ability of some of those guys, but Suh and JPP specifically, their leadership that they brought, accountability, you think that has to be lacking, right?
the all the names you just mentioned, except for the coaches, I'm running off the top of my head. I think pretty much everybody you just named is being replaced by either a rookie or a young player who needs to grow and develop. And even the Bucs with this mighty roster, in pro sports, you're in the business of always growing and developing. And there's going to be some hard knocks and some bad plays. But what I'm not seeing with all of those players is the mentoring to show improvement.
Right.
They're 7 games in to the season. By this point, you're not a rookie. They always say after your first couple of preseason games, you're not a rookie anymore. But I'm seeing just rookies in key spots that are either not where they're supposed to be, not performing the way they're supposed to perform. In the case where they're trying to bring Luke Gedeke along, they started rotating Nick Leverett in and out yesterday. I feel, Todd Bowles said he had to go to the film to judge, where he was going to go forward with that. I mean, what is this, an audition?
Right.
Yeah. I didn't really understand that. You either put Gedeke in or don't.
Yeah. Put Leverett in, keep him in, or don't. It's and you guys mentioned leadership, and if I'm the Glazers, I'm like, get Bruce Arians back in there, in some way, shape, or form. Because you know what? Remember Luke, he called out everybody publicly, including Brady last year. Remember that? Everybody's like, oh, how do you call out the GOAT? Well, because he wasn't playing well. Has Todd Bowles called out Tom Brady personally? Has he called out anybody at any point? No, he doesn't call out anybody. He doesn't, and these guys know it. They're not going to be embarrassed publicly by the coach. So whatever. They're not going to be. They're not going to have somebody come up to him in the huddle and say, "What the hell are you doing?" Because those guys are gone. I love Levante, but he's not a vocal leader. Ryan Jensen's not out there, grabbing you by the face mask saying, "Hey, your man's made the tackle 5 times. What are you doing?" I mean, there's no accountability anywhere on this team, and it shows when your star receiver says, with first play of the game, the life went out of us. Well, there's nobody on the sideline there that's going to – even Tom Brady, even when he yells at his team last week, they're like looking at him going, well, where were you for the walkthrough? It's so dysfunctional right now. It's so dysfunctional.
I think that there's probably conversations that we don't know about, obviously, within the locker room, particularly from coaches to players and in the office. But I will tell you this. In Pittsburgh last week, I went to the locker room after Bowles was finished. And you're walking around trying to see who you want to talk to first. And it's a morgue in there. I mean, This guy was dead silent. So we walked over by Raheem Nunez Rochez's locker, Nacho. Yeah. And he was having a private moment. And so, I'm not going to stand. Usually what happens is you stand there and they're putting their clothes on. And then they see you want to talk to them, and they turn around and put a shirt on and talk to you. But this was a private moment, so you got to give them, you back off.
Right.
And, I wasn't listening to everything he said, but the conversation ended with Nacho saying to him, listen, I'm here. And, that was kind of to me, it felt like a pick-me-up for Logan from a veteran. Yeah. It was nice to see. Moment, in the moment in the locker room after a game, as you know, it's emotions. Yep. You're not analyzing.
Yeah.
Only mentoring, I guess I'll call it, I've been able to witness.
Right.
So something's wrong with the disconnect between, pieces that are coming in here and trying to keep this thing going. This was always a danger. 2020 when they put this together.
Yep.
They went all in.
Yep.
And when you go all in, danger on the other side of it when you get to the end of that run.
Yep.
I'm not saying the run is over for the Bucs. They've got time to turn it around. And if they do, what a story it's going to be.
Yeah.
But now things are not working properly, and people are paid to get this fixed.
Yep. All right, Luke, I know you're going to get over there to One Buck Place today. That should be an interesting press conference with Todd Bowles today. Changes need to be made. I don't think they're bold enough to make them. So I think we're going to see more of the same stuff, unfortunately. So good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I'm going to focus. I'm going to ask him, you got to kind of get to the Thursday game.
Yeah.
And then, the the players, after the Thursday game, I don't care what happens Thursday night, JP, the players need to get out of town for a couple of days. Go to Cabo. I don't care where you go. Something. And then the coaches need to be locked in and have a soul-searching moment, and that's where the changes. And sometime, and maybe there needs to be some drastic move. That's where something needs to be evaluated and fixed. They need to do a complete self-evaluation after that Thursday game. If they let it fester, that's a mistake.
Everything is on the table at this point. But again, they're not bold enough to make the changes that need to be made. I don't think they are, because they're the things that need to happen will ruin careers, and nobody wants to do that.
Right.
So, and we'll talk about that next. I'll let you go, but we're going to get into some of that next. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. We'll be watching tonight on News Channel 8. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Good. Follow him on Twitter at WFLA Dan. Yeah, that's. And I'm going to outline what those changes need to be. And like I said, they're not bold enough to do it. They're not. That's a shame, because I still think you have an opportunity, because nobody's running away with this division. So anyway, let's take a break. I'm going to come back on the other side, and we're going to talk about I still think there is one way to get out of this, or a few things that they can do to get out of them. Are they bold enough to make these changes? I don't think so, but we'll talk about it when we come back. We're brought to you by Emerging Investigations. If you have an issue with your spouse, involved in a divorce, a criminal matter that you need a private detective agency, give them a call. Go to emerginginv.com. That's the website. Get all the information. Just give them a call. It's free. They'll take you through the whole situation, how to do it, what's it going to cost, and they'll let you know, and then you can make an informed decision. That's emerginginvestigations.com. Back at 3. Stay with us. Was your car totaled in an accident? Did your insurance company use Kelley Blue Book or NADA to appraise the value of your car? Chances are they didn't, and you got shorted maybe thousands of dollars. Call the Jeeves Law Group for a free case evaluation, because your insurance company may still owe you money. 727-894-2929. It's a free call, so why not find out if you have a case? Insurance companies have been running this scam for a while, and most folks don't know if they've been shorted. Trust me. Scott Jeeves is a different kind of attorney, the kind insurance companies hate to go up against. He could recover thousands of dollars, so why not call? 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com, and tell them JP sent you. JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations. Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Golden Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
Oh, it's all coming apart. It's all coming apart. But is there a way to fix this thing? Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. We're giving away 4 tickets to the Florida-Georgia game this week, coming up on Saturday. So we're going to ask you guys to send in on social media your videos why a Gator is better than a Bulldog. You can go fan, you can go animal, you can go anything you want, but just give us a nice creative video of why you think Bulldogs are better than Gators, and you could win 2 tickets to the Florida-Georgia game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. There, I said it. Ooh, I'm so politically incorrect. You can't say that anymore. Oh, we did. Yes, people drink outside the stadium still. Oh, really? Yes, they do. It's a cocktail party. That was like 10 years ago. People said, oh, we can't call it that anymore. I'm like, what? Why not? What's going on? Anyway, so we're going to play some sound here in just a little bit. But I said that this thing can be fixed, and there are things that can be done. And let me just say this. I don't know if they would fix them because some of the problems are so bad. But you have sat here and watched for 3 weeks. Well, for more than that. They've lost 4 out of their last 5, and the 1 win. If not for a couple bad calls, they lose that as well. You've watched this thing deteriorate, and it's not going to get any better unless bold moves are made. Bold moves are made. And here's, first and foremost, Nick Leverett is your left guard. Stop the Gedeke thing. That's just, that should have been, that experiment should have been over week 3 or 4. They just did not have the cojones to make the move, but that needs to be done. Bruce Arians needs to be brought back into building. I know he's in the building, but either as the primary play caller, the primary game planner, and this whole idea of we're a running football team needs to go out the window. You're not a running football team. You've been trying to do that for 7 weeks. It's never going to happen with this group of people. When Ryan Jensen comes back and you move Hainsey to left guard and you want to try running the football then, okay, fine. This iteration, not happening. It's not happening. You did it in key situations yesterday, and you can't get a yard. And how we've known that for 5 weeks. Yep, you still keep trying to do it. Whether that's Bowles telling Leftwich to do it or whatever it is, Arians needs to make those calls first and foremost. Now, will that happen? No, because if Arians was publicly playing, if he puts on a headset and takes over this team again, guess what? Todd Bowles' career is over as a head coach. Byron Leftwich's career pretty much over as a head coach, and you know exactly what backlash that's going to bring. And am I saying Arians would be the ultimate answer? I don't know, to be quite honest. But I know this ain't working. This ain't working, and I know that did work. They won a Super Bowl. And Brady can bitch all he wants about Arians or whatever, and he can whatever. They won a Super Bowl that way. When Bruce Arians was the coach, there was accountability. And whatever it is with Todd Bowles, and sometimes this is what happens with coordinators, because coordinators are sometimes a bridge between the head coach and you, right? They're like, you know, the players are like, oh, Arians, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, and Bowles is like, I'm your guy. I got you, blah, 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 blah. That's the way it works. And Bowles has always had the support of his players in that role. But as a head coach, he has not been good. It wasn't good in New York, and it's not good now. You can't. It's one thing to lose games in the NFL. To get embarrassed the way they've been embarrassed 4 out of the last 5 weeks, that's something totally different. Totally different. Are they going to, bring Bruce back in to take over the team and say, hey, it's too much for Todd to handle, to be the defensive coordinator or whatever? It's never going to happen. Politically, it can't happen. But that needs to happen because this is awful. There's no accountability on his team.
And Bruce would never do it.
No,
Bruce would
he wouldn't.
never do it.
You're right.
He is too loyal
Yep,
to
you're
this
right.
coaching staff. He has given everybody on this coaching staff chances when other people may not have.
Yeah.
Second chances, third chances, whatever.
You're right.
Okay, so he won't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I said it yesterday, and I don't even know if I was being serious or I was even in the moment, but I was like, if you get shut out yesterday, which I consider yesterday a shutout, that
Yeah.
field goal to me was
Meaningless.
they just didn't want to get shut out, in
Right.
my opinion.
Yeah, meaningless.
None of them, both Bowles and Leftwich, they didn't deserve to coach this team. You don't deserve to be around this much talent. There's not a team around the league doing so less with so much. It's really it's damning. And Byron Leftwich, I tell you what, I'm done. I'm done. I am completely done with this guy.
Yep.
To me, he stuck a middle finger in everybody's face on the first play of the game
He did.
when he did a run right up the ass of Luke Gedeke. He did a middle finger to everybody's face. And then later on in the game, I think you talked about it already there in your first opening rant about you got to get a freaking yard, man. And you're running it both times, but then the pitch play to Leonard Fournette. I about lost it when I was watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
4th and 1.
These are
scoring zone.
Who's calling this stuff?
Yeah, it's
I'm
awful.
watching the game.
It's awful.
How were you watching the game yesterday by chance? Were you at like a bar or were you at home?
No, it's home watching.
Jonathan Vilma has played that game
He's
at a high level.
Yeah.
He's calling out the plays ahead of time. I know what they're going to do. It's really predictable. We're all doing it at home.
Yeah.
I don't got a PhD in football. I've never played it down in my life, and I can tell you what the Bucs are going to do on every play.
Yeah. If you're and seriously, if you're going to run this offense the way you're calling it, Tom Brady is not your quarterback. He's not, because he can't function in this.
You know what? You want me to
say
something bad about Brady? This is the part to me that bothers me the most from him. Okay. He has influence on this offense. He signs off on these game plans
Of course he
with
does.
Byron Leftwich.
Yes.
Either
He can change the play at the line
you
of
just
scrimmage.
don't care and you don't want to put your input in and you're just going along with it.
He's done. He's done.
I hate to say it.
I
hate to say it, but it comes off like that.
And we listen to this press conference. We're going to cue it up right now. Tom Brady mentally is done. You heard Rondé say it. He's checked out. He's throwing into double coverage and making ridiculously simple reads wrong, and should have had 3 picks in those situations yesterday. 3, and then it'd be a different narrative, and it shouldn't be, because that's what he did. Those are the decisions he made. Those were the balls he threw. There should have been 3 picks yesterday that were right in their hands and dropped, and all of them were misreads. If this was a rookie quarterback, we'd say this guy can't play in the NFL. There were 3 or 4 times when he dirted the ball when he could have extended the play, and even he could have extended the play, but he's afraid to get hit. He will not stand in and take a shot when he has to deliver the ball down the barrel. He won't do it. And I know everybody, how can you be saying this? It's true. Turn on the tape. Take his resume off and just turn on the tape. He's missing wide open guys. Yes, the guys need to catch the ball at times, but he is really bad. And that to me tells me he's mentally checked out. Why? Look at his personal life, bro. Look at his personal life. You don't think these AB things that he's putting out on social media have anything to do with it?
Oh.
Go look at them. And you don't think if you're a man and you've been involved in a divorce and people are trolling you publicly the way he is, and you don't think he's doubting himself, all the things that have gone on behind the scenes right now, that's one of the main reasons he went up to New England, to be around all his friends and buddies. And I get that, but that means football is not your number one love. It's his whole advantage to playing for his entire career was that he out-prepared everybody and was 3 steps ahead of everybody. It's not his physical abilities. It's his mind, and his mind is gone. It is toast. He can't play right now. And if I were the Bucs, I would sit him down. I would say, hey, your arm is hurt, whatever. He's worthless. You keep scoffing at it. Look at the results. Look at the results. And I'm not saying it's Brady's fault. I'm saying everything around him, what you have right now, does not fit what he does.
It doesn't.
So he's killing you because he doesn't.
But you're not sitting him down.
Of course, exactly what I said. The things that need to be done, they will not do. They will not do. And I would say I'm sitting him I want to protect him for when Jensen comes back. Seriously, that's what I would do. I would give him a break. You're on a short week. Say his arm hurts. Send Blaine Gabbert out there. You're going to lose anyway to the Ravens. They're going to kick your ass. So what's the point of putting him out there? He's just going to get hurt. He's a liability at this point with this team that you have. It's unthinkable, I know. But from a football standpoint, they scored 3 points against the Panthers. They scored 18 against the Steelers.
Yeah, in a way, everything should be on the table, I guess. I mean,
everything should be on the table. I'm saying this. I'm not saying that. Look,
I've had a hard
years old.
I've had a hard
time. He can't run. He can't outthink you.
I've had a hard time going down that route with Brady because there are a lot of things going on, and I I keep thinking, and I see there's the hard part. It's like you watch the game. There are moments where you see, I guess, the old Brady, I guess. It comes through it sometimes, and you're just wondering, like, why does it kind of come in and out is the problem, right?
It's not in it.
I just look offensively, and I'm looking at the parts, the Jimmies and the Joes, right, that are around him. We already know the big ones that aren't there, but what's left is a running back, in my opinion, and listen, we had this conversation. I thought the contract for Leonard Fournette, the second it was signed, I said, this is a Brady signing. I don't think he's worth it. The guy's got no burst.
Nope.
He's got zero burst.
Yep.
I mentioned it before we went to
He runs over
Dan.
people, and that's
But that's
great.
it. That's all he does, though. But I mentioned it before we went to Lucas. They are on pace to have the worst rushing offense since the 2000 Chargers. That is 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's where the Bucs are running the football right now.
Right.
So you can't run the football. You have an offensive coordinator who's stubborn and wants to run 12 personnel with two tight ends, and you don't have any dogs up front to do it. And then you go to the receiving core. Julio Jones just ought to just retire right now. Russell Gage is making $10 million a year.
It's terrible.
What is he doing for you?
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. He's not open. Another
Classic.
hamstring injury. He's probably going to be out for this week.
Yep.
So he ain't playing on Thursday. Chris Godwin, I'm here to tell you right now, he's not all the way back.
Nope.
Chris Godwin is not all the way back.
Nope.
And that leaves you with Mike Evans, who, by the way, looked like his knee banged him up a little bit, and we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
So what the hell do you have?
You want to put 12 out there on Thursday night with this group?
Hell, the more you say, and the Ravens are coming into town.
You want to put 12 out there? It's not fair to him.
I mean, the more I'm thinking about it, are the Bucs as talented as I thought they were?
No, they're not.
When I just spelled it out for you there,
not anymore.
Your left tackle's hurt. He's playing hurt. Your left guard stinks. Your center's a rookie.
The only chance you got is to put Blaine Gabbert back there, let him run around and throw the ball down the field because you got nothing else. You got nothing else. Brady cannot operate in this. He cannot. He does not have the skill set. He doesn't. And not with this group.
And I think his mind. He doesn't have the mind to figure it out.
There. His mind is clearly not there. That has been his biggest advantage his entire career.
And he's always had a great coaching staff around him to help him.
Right.
He has. This is one of the worst coaching staffs I have ever seen. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. The Panthers have no coaching staff, and they outcoached this team.
Yeah.
Think about that.
They did.
I'm at the point now, Byron Leftwich, you have to make it through Thursday at a default. You have to because it's too early to make a change. After that, because I'm assuming they're probably going to lose this game.
Too early to make a change?
I'm firing. Byron Leftwich doesn't have a job on Friday. I'm promoting Clyde Christensen to OC.
Listen,
and I'm moving forward.
Leftwich is not doing a good job.
He's doing a horrendous job.
But look what he's working with. After everything, you've got a quarterback that's mentally checked out and has a limited skill set. And the main advantage that he has, he can't use because he's checked out. All the things we just mentioned are personnel. Now, it would help if you would stop running the ball as much as you run it in key situations. I get it. But so what? You score 10 points now? You score 17 yesterday?
It doesn't explain. You throw at that stat about third down, how bad it is. I mean, they have the worst.
For 43, dude. Third and 7.
In general on third down.
Is that Tom Brady? Is that the GOAT?
No.
Then what's the point?
Hey, listen to this. This has happened. Leonard Fournette has run 3rd and 1, I think 9 or 10 times this year. Listen to these numbers. On 3rd and 1, he's gotten a negative 3 yard, negative 1 yard, negative 1 yard, negative 1 yard, 0, 0, 0, 0, a 3 and a 5. That's 2 for 11.
And you keep doing it.
2 for 11 on 3rd and 1 with Leonard Fournette, and you keep doing it.
Let's don't spread people out. Let's don't do anything different. Let's compact it into 21 people within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and 15 yards wide. And somehow he's going to find a lane to get a yard and a half. You're like, that's just so dumb.
What's crazy, though? We asked for them to have some creativity, right, in the offense.
Yeah.
I have to say, there were a few things that they tried.
Yeah.
They tried doing misdirection. They tried going right. They had Jalen Darden do a switch. Jalen Darden, by the way.
First of all, you say that. It's that they did.
They tried. But
why are you giving it to Jalen Darden?
I don't know.
Who's looking for a place to lay down?
He can't play. He can't play in this league.
Player.
If you're afraid to get hit, you can't play.
He's always afraid to get hit. He runs out of bounds. Even yesterday, he's diving for the ground before he gets hit. And you think it's a good idea? Hey, he's our fastest guy, so he could be. It's tackle football. It's not flag football. It's not flag football. It's tackle football. And he doesn't want to get hit. And but he's fast. Well, he's got to run through guys that want to hit him. You figure so. Come on.
The point being,
that's the dumbest thing ever.
Point being, he tried. He actually tried a little bit to
with
do
the
things.
wrong guy.
And again, that's what I'm saying. Either you try and you just suck that bad that everything you try sucks, or these players can't play.
The fact that Jalen Darden is still on this play when he's consistently showed his teammates that he refuses to get hit, that is a disqualification.
I can't ride with
for
him.
Playing
I can't.
tackle
And
football.
if Tom Brady
I don't
was
care
the real,
how fast you are,
and if Tom Brady really was into it and he had influence, like I think he does, there's no way he's signing off on giving this guy the football.
No.
There's no way.
No, you give it to a guy who's looking to, and what did he do? He had a lane. He could have turned it up in the middle, but what did he do?
He's incapable
he
of
laid
doing
down for a yard gain. There was a lane there for him to shoot up in the middle and get some yards. Maybe he got 7 or 8 yards, but you know what happened at the end of that? He got hit by two guys. You know what? That's a non-starter for him. He ain't doing that.
No.
Yet you still hand him
No,
the football.
it's the same thing, and it's the same thing at left guard. Luke Gedeke, he might be able to play next year, the year after that. I don't know. But right now, he can't play. He's not an NFL player. That's a whiff of a pick right now.
Yeah.
It's a total whiff.
Yep.
And the fact that it took you 6.5 weeks
Yeah.
to get him out of the game, but then you kept going back and forth. When Leverett was in there, you were actually moving the ball. When you were doing 11 personnel and you had Brady in the shotgun, you were actually moving the ball.
When they were going up tempo?
When they were going up tempo, yeah. It's almost
have
like
you
when
noticed
you play,
when they go up tempo, they move the ball down the
yeah,
field?
it's almost like
And then they don't do it.
when you play to your strengths,
Yes.
it's crazy concept.
Yeah.
When you play to your strengths, things work.
Yeah.
When you don't, things don't work.
Yep.
I thought this was common. I learned this in grade school. Byron Leftwich needs to go back to grade school.
It's brutal. It's brutal. All right, so let's listen to Tom Brady, who is your leader, right? When things are going well, he's the hardest worker. He holds everybody accountable. He's always prepared. He knows everything. And let's listen to this iteration of Tom Brady, because I don't know this guy. Unfortunately, I'm getting to know him rather well.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Just got my ass kicked.
You guys playing against teams in every bit of confidence to be able to win and then to lose both. How disheartening is it to have these two back to back?
Well, I mean, we're trying to win every game, so anytime you lose one game, it's no fun. You lose two, it's worse. So we just got to figure it out. We got to dig deep, try to do things a lot better.
Stop.
You want to break down the answer? What are you going to say?
Is that guy's head in the game? Hey guys, just got my ass kicked by a team we should beat by 40. Hey guys, wow. I know I'm being hard on the guy. I really am. Look, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest to ever do it. There's no question about it. He is the best. He was the ultimate leader, the great, toughest football. He's all that and everything. I can't say enough great things about this guy's career. I don't know this dude. I don't know that guy.
I don't think he knows who he is.
I just watched him play, and he played like dog poo. And he came in here, and he's like, "Hey guys, wow. I guess we should continue."
Come out and you have a touchdown, and Mike drops it. How much does that kind of set the tone for the day?
Mike's drop pass.
It's one play. There's a lot of other plays too. So it's never one play. It's a lot of plays, and it's just we're not playing the way we're capable of. It's pretty obvious.
You said last week that guys need to look themselves in the mirror and talk about it being, gut check time. In hindsight, did you see changes there? What more needs to happen?
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, we're just we talked about execution the other day, and it still comes up. I think we just all have to do our job better. So there's no easy way about it. It's they're trying to keep us from doing our job. We're trying to do it, and they're doing a better job than we are. It's anytime you score 3 points, that pretty much sums it up.
Man, there's just not the nonverbal. He's not even pissed.
He's almost like he's on the verge of like a laugh almost.
Yeah, it's literally he just should stand up there and go whatever. That's what he's saying. Whatever. Whatevs. That's what he's saying, man. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Do you have the Rodgers?
I brought up there's a minute of Rodgers here from.
All right.
Let me get it loaded here. Hold on.
And God, I hate to sit here and go, Rodgers better than Brady or any of that. And I'm not saying that because I've said a lot. I never thought Rodgers was a great leader. I think it's one of his drawbacks. Tom Brady is 10 times the leader that Aaron Rodgers has been. But this, just listen to this.
What does that tell you? I think you know what it tells you. They didn't need to.
When you said run the table a few years ago, that seemed really plausible. Does it?
Did it though?
It did.
Should we rewind history, Pete, and look at what you said about it? What'd you say?
I couldn't tell you for sure. I have to go back and look, but it was at least plausible.
Plausible.
And I'm wondering if that feels
fight back.
not running the table, but righting the ship and getting the playoffs. Does that feel plausible right now?
Goddamn right it does.
Listen to that.
Is that a widespread belief in your locker room? Obviously, that's your
That what?
that you guys can get it turned around and no concern here about the squad.
I mean, it should be. Unless they don't think they're the right person for the job. I think I'm the right person for the job. So I'd have to ask them.
Is that a little different than what we got out of Brady? Goddamn right it is.
Yeah, that entire I could have just played that one little moment there.
Yeah, goddamn right it is. But his whole demeanor is combative. Like, I'm like, we're better. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to turn this. This guy's checked out. Brady's checked out. I mean, the people are going to rip me for saying it, but that's what I see. Can he turn it around? Yeah, I think he has to turn it around for his own mental well-being with what's going on in his personal life. Listen, I've been through it. And there's times when you feel defeated. You feel so defeated. Even Tom Brady, he feels alone. He feels defeated. He feels betrayed. All of those feelings are going on in his head right now. You know what's not going on in his head? I want to win football games so badly I'd give my left kidney. And that's the way he's played his entire career. And that is not going on right now. And I'm not even criticizing him for that, to be honest with you. I get it. I understand where he's at. From a human standpoint, I have ultimate compassion for Tom Brady. I really do, because I can't imagine what it's going to be like, and he knows even what it's like right now. You're going to go through a very public divorce, and a lot of things are going to come out that he knows, and it's going to be ugly, and he knows all this. What it does, it zaps your confidence. You can't walk with your chest out. It's so hard to do it when you're going through this personal hell. And I'm telling you, that's his body language that is right now. And if I were the Bucs, I would recognize it with some compassion maybe and say, you know what, man, you're just not in it right now. Take a break for a couple of weeks. We got the mini bye coming up. You know, we'll let Blaine play this week against, we'll go out, we'll give it our best shot. But, it ain't right. It ain't working,
you know what?
man.
It's sad.
It ain't working.
I'm sad. I'm very sad.
I'm very sad for
because
him.
you know why? Because
Yes.
we're criticizing his play because it's what we're doing. This is
we
a
have
sports
to.
show.
That's our job.
We criticize what we see on the field. But I got compassion for what's going on. I can't imagine. But I tell you what, though, it makes this season a wash because I don't know if he envisioned this happening when he came back.
Not.
I don't know. It
But
happened.
I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this, and I've been there. There's one way to get out of this, Tom, and that's do what Rodgers is doing. Goddamn right it is. You need to, it might take a while and it's hard to do, but you need to flip it. You need to use this as motivation. And I thought that's what he was going to do.
It's what he's
done.
done.
But there's a grieving point. Honestly, there's a time of grieving when these things happen where you just feel like shit. It's awful. Your life has come apart and you don't know what you're good. But there comes a moment when you go, you know what? F this. I'm not going to let this beat me, especially on this is my last freaking year. I'm going to turn this shit around right freaking now. And that's the only way he's going to get out of it. Yeah. And he needs Tony Robbins. He needs some life coach to get back into his head and said, you're freaking Tom Brady. You're Tom effing Brady. He doesn't feel, you know why he yelled at his team the other day? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Everybody made a big deal. Yeah. You know what he was saying? You guys are better than this. That's not Tom Brady. You know what Tom Brady does when he rips you? You guys effing suck.
He did.
Yeah, well, I'm parsing words here. But when you miss the meeting, he can't be authentic to himself. When he's taking time away from his team, he can't be his authentic self. And he knows it. And it's his whole life right now is incongruent. There's your word for it. It's not meshing. He needs to get back to being completely dedicated to what he's doing, mind, body, and soul, and get back. And if he can't do it, which he's not doing right now, he's not Tom Brady. He's not number 12. He's not the GOAT. And if you want to try to put Tom Brady behind this mess with this play caller, you're going to keep getting exactly what you've gotten the past few weeks. And that's unfair to this guy. It's unfair to Tom Brady. It's unfair to Bucs fans. It's unfair to everybody. And until he gets his head right, and I'm not putting this all on him, because if everybody else was doing their part around him, you could get him through this. You could pick him up through this. Okay? If he had time to throw and his receivers were getting open and all these other things were happening, but that's not happening now, and it's not changing. That stuff is not changing until Ryan Jensen comes back and Julio Jones somehow finds some type of magic. Because I'm telling you, the only way this team gets out of it is number one, Tom Brady becomes the badass again that he is, and in the mental space, and he's not, and he rededicates himself, and everybody sees it, and they do the same thing. They flip the switch. Julio Jones comes off of whatever injury he has and somehow finds it for 8 to 9 weeks and gets on it. Cade Otton has to be part of this. He's got to trust him to run down the middle of the field. He's been better. He's been better. You got to get Ryan Jensen back. You got to get Haynes. You got to get Luke Key the hell out of there. And you got to switch up from Leonard Fournette all the time. Rachaad White is making better reads and is running the football better. I'm sorry. I love you, Lenny, but Rachaad White is now the running back number one. What else did I miss? Defensively, look, you're a disaster right now. I don't know but if Antoine Winfield is out for any extended period of time, he's probably not going to play Thursday night. You got no shot because that defense is leaderless right now. You got to sit Devin White. At some point, he's either got to get it or get the hell off the field because he's killing you. I would not be giving Tryon as many snaps as he's getting. You got to make bold
who's getting
changes.
those snaps? I mean, who's playing well? Is Shaq Barrett playing well? No, he's not.
He's playing terrible.
He's playing terrible.
But that is the only way you're going to get it, and you have to have changes within the coaching
Well, here's
staff.
the problem.
You got to bring Arians back to at least as a figure in some way to get people accountable.
To your Brady point, what you're asking him to do, this is what's different. There's this misconception out there that even the GOATs, I'll give you an example. Michael Jordan. When the Michael Jordan LeBron debate, everybody always points to, well, Jordan did it by himself and LeBron needed help. Let me tell you this. Every great player needs help.
Oh God, yes.
Every great player needs help.
Anybody thinks
if you are going to look at Brady's career, if you're going to go look at Brady's career and tell me he didn't have help, no, he did.
Yeah, of course
he had a world-class coach, always had great coaching staff, great camaraderie with the coaching staff. He had great players around him. He always had a safety blanket, great defense, all those stuff to pick him up. The Bucs right now have a defense that can't get off the field on third down. They can't get to the quarterback. They haven't forced a turnover in 3 games. They have no alpha. You have an offensive line that has 4 new pieces on it. One of them is an absolute liability. You have a receiving core that's beat up, banged up, and it just ain't good enough.
Slow.
Super slow. 2 rookie tight ends,
Slowest
and then 1 wash tight end, the slowest team in the league. You got a running back that has no burst and no vision. You're asking Tom Brady to overcome everything. And nobody can do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you replace Brady with this guy and that guy. It's all going to magically be better.
No.
It's not.
No.
This is a failure from the top to the bottom. Coaching, I didn't even mention it. And you're overwhelming. You have to overcome a coaching staff that's inept.
It's not fair to Brady.
It's not fair. This is not how it should end for him.
No, it shouldn't.
This is unfair. Okay. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the GOATs, they never get to go out on top. It never happens that way.
I was saying this last night, to the lovely Ashley, and she's not a huge football fan, but she's like, what's going on with Tom Brady? And I said, well, you can understand a lot of what's going on because she knows relationships, and this is what this is about for his headspace. And then you put all the other football stuff on top of it, and I said, typically the greats never go out well. They never go out well, right?
Listen,
look at Jordan,
I'm seeing it right now. I'll give you a good example right now. I bring up Manchester United all the time.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo walked out on his team because he felt disrespected that they were going to try to put him on in stoppage time.
There was a report last week. Who was it that came out with it that said Brady was considering about quitting? At this point,
I think Chris Sims floated it out there.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. I mentally, he's already quit. He's not that guy anymore. You can just see it in his play and in the reads. And Chris Sims can turn on the film and see him making basic mistakes in reads. And it's been going on for a few games now. And everybody, and here's the other thing, everybody in the building is watching the same tape, and they know it too. Everybody knows it. This is why the whole team is playing so weird. And nobody wants to say the emperor has no clothes on. You know, I kind of have this situation where this team is out there and they're naked to the world. Like they know that they're being exposed. You know, I use this analogy of being naked, but it's kind of an interesting thing. They're running out there. They're on a stadium and they got no clothes on because they're just exposed. Everybody knows how bad they are. They know how bad the teams they're playing know how bad they are. Nobody else does because they got all the names. And they got it's the GOAT, it's Mike Evans, it's Devin White, it's Devontae David, it's Leonard Fournette. Oh, this is the great. And everybody knows these guys are awful. They're terrible. And you know who knows it more than anybody? The guys on the field. And when you know that, that's what you get. They are not going to, unless all these things that I've talked about are done, which they're not bold enough to do it. And it's career ruining stuff because of the perception that will be made. You can't turn it around. You cannot turn it around unless you make bold changes. And I'm not saying that's going to fix everything and you're going to go win the Super Bowl. This team can't win the Super Bowl. Come on. Are you kidding me? No. It just can't. And the sad thing about it is anything short of that with Tom Brady
is a disappointment. It's an absolute disappointment.
It's a lose-lose situation at this point, folks. It's lose. So at this point, and I think most of the people that are involved in this know it. So at this point, what do? They start protecting careers. You know, start protecting careers. We're not going to publicly say this guy's bad or publicly say this guy's bad. We'll play the Todd Bowles here in a second. He's not going to call out anybody in my name. Bruce will. He has, and he's done it before. So what's going to change? You want to play the rest of the Brady stuff?
Well, I'm trying to queue up here because Jeremy actually just reminded me that Bowles was speaking earlier today. So he's actually speaking right now. So I was trying to pull some of that up so we get the fresh show. It says it's starting soon, so we'll wait on that. But in the meantime, we can get Brady going here again. Yeah.
So it's kind of more of the same, but pay attention more to the nonverbal than the verbal because the verbal is the same stuff every week. He just looks more and more defeated. You saw, Roethlisberger last week said he looks like he's mentally checked out, and it's true. And those guys know.
Bowles was saying that it's sort of a mental toughness thing from what he can see. I mean, from all of your experience, and how do guys get more mentally tough?
You just got to, I think executing in practice and doing well, builds confidence. And then ultimately when you got in the game, you got to make, difficult decisions under pressure. And, we're plenty capable of making plays. We're just not making them consistently enough to score points. So make a big play, make a bad play, make a big play, make a bad play. So in football, it's just not good enough. You can't play like that. You got to string enough good plays together to get the ball into the red area and score points. So just haven't done that.
Are you surprised by this? Losing 4 out of 5, losing to 2 teams that are undermanned right now, losing quarterback, surprising.
And I think it's the NFL, so every team is challenged, and if you've got to understand they have strengths, and we just have not played well. It doesn't matter, if you don't execute your job well, then it doesn't matter who's on the other side. It just still comes down to the fundamentals of the sport. Throwing and catching, blocking, tackling. It's all the fundamentals. So.
We get through this press conference. You have to be able to get a yard, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Yeah. It's still a tight game in the 3rd quarter. You're 25, and the offense gets stopped twice. What's going wrong in this keeping you guys from making that play when you needed?
I have to look at it. It's tough when you're kind of hand the ball off. You don't see it, but you're right. I mean, that's important for us, and we just haven't done a good job in those situations.
Call a different play. It's like AJ said here. He said on the 3rd and 4th tape that I put up earlier on Twitter, he said, plus they ran the exact same plays in the exact same scenarios last week. He's right. The Panthers knew a toss sweep was coming on 4th down because that's exactly what they did last week, and they were in the same formation. Pee-wee caliber play calling. And Jim says, I called the toss sweep 4th down play before it happened because it was one of the few that has. It's so freaking predictable.
We all know it. That's what I'm saying. It isn't. You don't have to have a PhD in football to know what's going on here. I think Bowles has started here, so
We'll tap in live, courtesy of your Tampa Bay
let
Buccaneers.
me pick it up to where it started here.
He's got to be dreading this
Morning.
press conference. Good morning.
Todd, one of the changes that you made yesterday was inserting Nick Leverett at left guard, platooning him with Luke Gedeke. What did you see on film between the two in terms of their play, and what's the plan for Thursday?
We're both very physical. Both were neck and neck going training camp going into the season. Obviously, Luke won it out. Leverett's earned some playing time, so we started getting him some in there. Luke was nicked up a little bit as well, so we got Leverett a little more time. But they both fought hard.
At this point in time, and maybe it depends on how Luke's injury is, but are you leaning towards on Thursday?
Well, if Luke's injury is fine, he'll start, but Leverett will play.
Todd, as you look to just try to get this thing fixed,
no accountability.
Rashad White, have you contemplated maybe giving him an increased role or even making him running back one at this point?
Yes.
He's not running back one, but he should get some more plays. We've always talked about it every week. He does some good things with the balls in his hand.
You can't even say that Nick Leverett's going to start over Gedeke, and you can't say Rashad White should be running back one. This is what I'm talking about. When Todd Bowles, God bless him, he's a career coach, assistant coach, and he doesn't want to cross his star players. He doesn't want to publicly embarrass anybody. And I get that. I totally get that. He doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus. But when you're playing this crappy, you can't sit at the podium and keep making excuses for everybody on your team. Your players are watching this. That's not what Bruce Arians does. He comes out and said, we played like crap. And these are the guys that played like crap.
I cannot believe he just said that Luke Gedeke will start if healthy.
You got to be out of your mind.
I feel like I could have a heart attack at that statement. That is a clown statement.
It's clown.
I mean, you want to talk about, does Brady want that?
No.
You think he wants to see Luke Gedeke there against the Ravens defensive line? Calais Campbell? Are you freaking kidding me?
And when Ryan Jensen went down, I told you this, and you heard what Brady said. And he talked about Gedeke. He said it right then, and this is why I say they got to go out. They got to go out and get some people because he has no faith in these guys. Because he knew right off the bat. And again, this is not. I don't want to trash Luke Gedeke because Jason Light thought that he could take some kid from a small school who played right tackle and plug him in at left guard in the NFL to protect Tom Brady, the GOAT. And a kid that was not highly recruited, is not that talented. And you thought you found an Alex Kappa. You thought you found an Ali Parpet. You did not.
No.
You did not. And this is not on Luke Gedeke. This is on Jason Light and on Todd Bowles for saying that. Let's continue.
And he does some good things when he's out there. Obviously, Leonard's a great running back as well. So we got to find a happy medium to have both of them touch the ball.
Todd, it's one thing if you're taking a player out because of injury, but
you got
there
the
any
worst
concerns
game.
you keep now 7-0, 14-0, that guys start trying to do too much, and that means not being in their gaps, trying to go for a fumble rather than make a tackle. Did you see any of that on film where guys are trying to play a little bit hero ball rather than sticking to their assignments and playing sound fundamental football defense?
No, I didn't. It's a team game. We don't pit offense against defense regardless of what we do, whether the offense is playing well and the defense isn't or vice versa. We win as a team. We lose as a team. We could have done some things defensively to help us win. We could have done some things offensively to help us win.
Are there any updates on some of the guys that got injured in the game? Antoine, Russell, any updates there?
Winfield has a concussion, so he'll be in the protocol, likely be out. The other ones coming around, we'll see. Russell's got to get his MRI back, so we'll see what happens there.
Waste of $30 million.
Third down offense, you guys went 2 for 12. Didn't have a conversion in the second half. Didn't convert anything longer than 3rd and 5 in the whole game. Is there something you point to for why, not that things have gone that well before Sunday, but why the pass game wasn't as crisp on 3rd down to be able to move the chains?
I don't think it has been well on 3rd down the past few weeks. Something we work on all the time, execution-wise. You can say some false starts. You can say some lack of route progressions. You can say all the above, whether it's everybody inclusive. We have got to find ways to get better at that. And I know we are not looking for ways, and I know we're trying to find those ways, but we got to get solutions. We got to get them fast. There's nobody coming in here to help us and save the day.
we built this and we own it, and we have to get us out of it.
Todd, when you look at the point production going from 31 points against a really good team in Kansas City to 21 against the Falcons, 18 against a one-win Pittsburgh team, and then 3, that's a very dangerous slide for your offense. How would you just describe what's been happening in terms of the point production or lack thereof over the past month?
Shooting ourselves in the foot is something we know that was on the schedule, and we prepared for it.
Ty, is this a good time or maybe?
Because it's live here, sometimes it skips around.
Over? Okay.
Yeah, because
let me just go down a couple notes that I made on the tape real quick while we're talking about third down. And this goes chronologically. 3rd and 11 for the Bucs. That's after the deep ball that was dropped. They go back on 2nd down and try to run the ball on 2nd down because you had a wide open guy down the field. So why try that again? Fournette, tackle for loss, -1. So now it's 3rd and 11. Terrible read. Safety drops the pick. Nobody open outside guys, man-to-man. Wow, Xavier Woods. This was the one where Godwin was coming over the middle. The outside guys, Evans and Gage, were both one-on-one. And I don't know what freaking route Evans was running, but it wasn't a route that you get open. I mean, against a second-string corner, that's got to be your read right there. You throw the ball up high to Mike Evans one-on-one. Instead, this is a basic read. The safety stays in the middle of the field, and Godwin has a man-to-man guy on him. You're leading him right into the safety, and you throw the ball, and the guy just drops it. He just drops it. That should have been a pick on the first play and maybe even a pick 6. That was 3rd and 11. 3rd and 3, they did a slant to Godwin. That's one that they converted. It was a great catch on a very low throw, and he was double covered, and they made the play. But it was a bad read. There was a 3rd and 8. They brought a blitz off the corner, and Brady goes hot, short throws outside open. He stays inside. This is back to execution. First of all, we can't pick up a blitz. That was Gedeke and Fournette. Neither one of them picked up the blitzer. And now he's got to throw hot and throw short. And I think it was to Godwin or somebody else. And instead of taking the ball outside, they go inside, and it's an incomplete pass. Terrible. A 3rd and 3. They have a great pass protection on 3rd and 3. Godwin's going down the seam. He makes the catch, 18 yards. Illegal formation. Godwin covered up the tight end. This is basic peewee football. You got to look to the inside and see that you're covering up the tight end. The tight end's going down the field. I mean, and you wipe off a chunk play, and you haven't had many of them. Let me see other 3rd down plays. 3rd and 24 because you have another penalty there. You're never going to make that. 3rd and 2, quick pressure for 67-7, both midst of the blitz, and Godwin's out there diving for a ball down the field because Brady has to get rid of it quick. There was another 3rd down play where there's a screen, and he gets pressure and can escape to the right and let Fournette get away from the defender, and that screen's going to go for at least 35 yards. But instead of trying to extend the play, Brady just dirts the ball. And all he has to do is the rusher is 5 or 6 yards away from him. And he could just move out to his right. That's going to give Fournette another second to kind of clear the way. And he's got 4 guys out in front of him and 1 defender. So all he has to do is extend the play and throw it to Fournette and complete the ball. If that's done, that play is gone for big yards. But instead he just gives up and dirts the ball. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can't – that's not play calling. Leftwich called a great play right there.
Yeah, I know.
It was open. It was
execution.
As much as I'm tired of – up on the play and dirting it.
Yeah, as much as I'm tired of hearing the word execution come from everybody's mouth as if that's the only thing that's going wrong here, it is a true statement. But I look at a lot of the 3rd down issues. If you go back and look at most of those plays, they're doing exactly what you were saying, where you got all 22 guys all in one little box.
Yeah, these tight formations make me crazy.
You're acting like you have the guns up front to just run and get 1 yard, and you don't have them anymore. But and even I'm going back to the Gedeke point real quick here because John Ledyard, who does a great job of covering this team still when he's not even technically covering this team, but he brought up a good point here. We're asking Todd Bowles to make a rational decision on Luke Gedeke, right, and put in Nick Leverett. But this is a great point. How many times did Sean Murphy-Bunting get chance after chance after chance to play over Jamel Dean when it was clear to everybody that Jamel Dean was a better player. It took till this year for Jamel Dean to finally become a starter, correct?
Yeah.
It took 3 years when everybody could tell you that Jamel Dean was better. How many times last year did he play JPP on every single down when JPP was a liability? And he continues
one-armed.
Yeah, and he continues to play Devin White on every single snap. Todd Bowles, the worst thing I'm saying right now with him is his loyalty to these players, to these starters.
Yes.
He is afraid to make a serious coaching change, and I'm going to try to get the press conference whenever they load it completely. We can play it again for when it's not skipping. But I'm reading through some of the quotes, and he's already said we're not making any big changes. Don't expect any of that to happen. And you know what? That's who he is. He's scared to make a big change.
That's why you fail as a head coach.
But he
because
knows
you have to make hard choices.
Yeah,
You
and this
have
is
to
his
piss people off.
last chance. He knows it's his last chance, and for whatever reason, he doesn't want to take a chance at making the wrong move. But guess what? What you're doing right now is not working.
Yes.
You're going to go down with the ship if you continue what you're doing.
And people, we have to understand, these are not just losses to good football teams. It's 2 games where these losses are, again, you should have lost to Atlanta. You were a bad roughing call away from losing to Atlanta. Everybody mocked me when I said that. Guess what? I was right.
It took a fight for you to wake up against the Saints.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The game against the Steelers that was a team that was so ready to get beat. And this game right here is an absolute freaking joke. You get spanked by a team that was left for dead. And this is a 5-alarm fire, and you're coming to work the next day like, nothing to see here. We're good. Yeah, we gotta get those hoses hooked up a little bit quicker. But we got a couple good fire trucks here. Yeah, it's burning. It's burned down though. It's an inferno. But we're good. We lost a couple of buildings, but we'll be ready for the next fire. No, it's a disaster. It's one of the worst losses I've ever seen in the NFL. And you're sitting here on Monday morning. No, we're gonna put the same people in. No, we're gonna. We just got to execute better. We're going to keep doing that. Yeah. No, we're good. What? Yeah. Not good. All right. Do we need to take a break? Let's take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a break.
We'll take a break. We'll come back 3 minutes. Quick break. Thank our sponsors, Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you want to win 2 tickets to the Florida-Georgia game, submit your video on our social media at FanStreamJP, at the JP Peterson Show. Why Gators are better than Bulldogs. Have some fun with it. Be creative, and you may win 2 tickets to the Florida-Georgia game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. And that's brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida. JP here for Italiano Insurance. If you've started a side hustle during COVID and the business has grown, well, you need business insurance, because if you get sued, you could lose all your personal wealth if you're not properly protected. That's right. Your home, your savings, everything could go. So get protected now. Call the great agents at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799, and a real human will answer the phone and get you protected. If you haven't shopped your business insurance in a while, you could be overpaying by thousands. One customer had their golf buddy handling his business insurance, then called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 a year. Yeah. So call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by BAMMC, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you're looking to lose weight or testosterone replacement therapy or a new primary care physician, that is the place to go. Chris Lugo will hook you up, and his medical staff, they're very forward-thinking. Everything is personalized. And if you need some testosterone replacement, which many of you do, get your numbers checked. Research shows that American men are drastically low in testosterone production. So help yourself out, get it back to the natural levels that it should be. And they do it great there at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. We have a lot of great comments coming in. I'm trying to answer a lot of them. Joe F said, if you can't replace the worst rated guard in the NFL, you send you send a message to the rest of your team that there's no accountability. You can play as awful as you want to play, and we're going to keep putting
the weakest link can't even get replaced.
Yeah, everybody else this is what I told you last week, folks. You got players in the locker room that are just shaking their heads. They don't trust the coaches. The players are pissed at the play.
I think that's what it is. They don't want to play for this coaching staff.
They don't.
I think that's apparent. Yeah,
and they don't want to play for each other. That was always a hallmark of this team. This team was very much together, and now you don't see that. This is what happens when you take a few of those personalities out of the locker room, and the accountability goes out.
And listen, maybe shame on us for underestimating this.
Yeah,
I'll admit it. I underestimated it.
Yeah,
I thought the additions they made in the offseason were fine. I thought you weren't going to have to rely on your rookie class, and yet there it was. Rachaad White has to play. I think he has to.
I'll say this:
you have two rookie tight ends have to play. McCollum has to play now. Gedeke had to play. I didn't expect that.
When Jensen went down, I said, go out and get somebody. You have to get an experienced center. You can't go with these two guys. And Shaq Mason knew. I knew Shaq would be fine. He's playing like a professional. He's playing fine. But these other two guys are awful.
I don't really throw Hainsey in there.
But when you have Gedeke right next to you,
he ain't getting any help,
and you have an injured left tackle, everybody knows it. And this is why they started out okay, and then everybody got the tape and went, wow, these are their weak links. And that's when your coaching staff has to make the adjustment. When they make the adjustment to you, as the season goes along, your coaching staff has to make the adjustment to them to see what they're doing. And our coaching staff just keeps doing the same thing. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. We don't care. We're going to run that ball third and Leonard Fournette. Here it's coming right here. We're going to toss sweep. Everybody knows it. It's NFL. Come on. What are you doing? If all of us stupid ass reporters can turn on the tape and see this, and we've seen it for weeks. We're not new to this, folks. If you have just joined in our show, we're not new to this. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's bad. It's really, really bad. All right, do we want to play more of this, Bowles?
I'm trying to see if they've uploaded it yet.
If not, we'll move on.
Let's see.
We want to give you because we're all going to be reacting to this tomorrow. Well, it's happening right now.
They're still uploading it, so we'll see if we get it later in the show here.
It's just more of the same from Todd Bowles, though. Just what we've heard already is preposterous. Preposterous. If you can't sit up there and say, I'm going to replace the who are you calling out? And listen, you may be calling people out within the room. I get it. But this is not what's needed now. These guys need to be called out public because you're losing the faith of the team. You're losing the faith of the fans. You're losing the confidence of everybody that's important in that locker room when you don't do this stuff. And the bottom line is 12 may be the biggest offender. He's not good right now. He is not good right now.
And I think honestly too, the Rondé soundbite that we played at the beginning of the show. I mean, again, Rondé's very plugged into the team there. I mean, they put up a YouTube section where he breaks down film for the team.
Yes.
If Rondé felt comfortable enough to say that out loud, I mean, he probably could have gone even worse.
Trust me.
He could have gone a lot worse.
On that. He has.
Yeah, but the fact that he felt comfortable enough to even say that. Yeah. I mean, a guy that's been there, done that, and one of the greatest players in the history of this franchise, and he can look and tell you what's going on with this team. And just saying that they're not coaching well and the motivation to me, I mean, it's damning. It's very damning.
Here's from another former player, now analyst, and it's not Rondé Barber, but someone who's very, very plugged in and I trust a lot. And he didn't want to say this publicly, just anonymously. So, but I will read it. If Jensen can come, the interior line is the worst in football. True. If Jensen can come back, be huge. The different players on defense aren't as good as the players from last few years. Tryon stinks. Edge players are average at best. Hicks is stealing. Yeah, him not playing has really crushed them. Whitehead was a stud. 0 pass rush. Brady can't survive without a pocket. And even if there is one, he's shell-shocked right now because he doesn't trust it. Those are the few things I see. He went on to say, not a Gage fan either. Very poor offseason draft for Light. Can't bench Brady, but until you clean the pocket, they can't win. I know you can't. But I'm here to say it. I would play Blake Gabbert Thursday night.
Well, guess what? Luke Gedecke's still going to play. So exactly. Brady's the last one getting benched.
And I'm not saying that Gabbert is better than Brady. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in this situation with this team, you need a guy who can run for his life, throw the ball in the run, and maybe do some RPOs, some zone reads, pull it and run. You got to do something drastically different than what you're doing because everybody knows what you're doing, and it's a joke and it's embarrassing to him. Quite frankly, I think you're doing Brady a disservice, honestly, by playing him this week because he's not playing well. He needs to just relax, go get his head right because his head is clearly not in it. Take a week and a half off. See you later. He continued, catch the ball. That would be nice too. Yeah. I don't think they're that far away from being a dangerous team. I just don't think even if they clean it up, they can win it all. Just a playoff team. If they clean that up, but that's it. Their interior O-line and tight ends are what made Brady the best. They have the worst of both right now. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And people, I know people keep saying, well, we'll win the division. I mean, come on. That's not why we're here to win a bad division.
No,
are you serious?
Again, that's what I'm saying. They're going to win. We know they're going to win the division. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody else in this division that can come close to what the Bucs have and what they'll do. But again, I can't even look towards that. You just scored 3 points against the worst. You just lost back-to-back games against the 2 worst teams in the league, in my opinion.
Yep.
They're going nowhere with backups.
Right.
With broken coaching staffs.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I say it again. The Panthers traded one of their best receivers and their best overall player in the same week. They were begging you to beat them. They didn't want to win that game. Whoever the general manager is probably pissed off that they won the game.
Yeah.
And the Bucs just gave it to him.
Yeah. Yeah. The team is tanking. The ownership is tanking in Carolina. And their team went out and said, you know what?
But it tells you when you have belief.
We're not tanking.
Belief is a big thing.
Not. Yeah.
Belief is a big thing in this league. It doesn't matter who you have.
Just go look at the energy of the two teams. And we said this, Russell Gage coming out saying, yeah, even when we make big plays, it ain't,
there's no energy.
There's no energy.
But you had no energy in this game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you bored? Who's bored on this team?
Dude,
still?
This is I've seen this so often in my career, especially covering the Bucs. You go into that locker room, guys are checked out, and then you turn on the tape, they are checked out. I'm telling you, this needs a bold. I said it last week. Tom Brady on Monday should have come in and addressed his team and said, "My bad. I shouldn't have done it. I should have gone away. I should have been back here." If everybody just covers that up under the rug, I'm telling you, you can't send these messages because what it tells you is there's no accountability. And these guys that are out there getting paid like Shaq Barrett and Devin White, boy, you just cost yourself a lot of money.
I don't want him. I'm saying it right now.
If the Bucs give him a long-term deal, they're out of their minds.
I
they're
can't,
out of their minds.
Can't win with him.
4 years. 4 years in, if you're still playing like this, you're still taking the bait. It's
getting worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse. You got to be out of your
mind. And you know what? And you know what makes me pissed off about it? They show him on the sideline and he's dancing, having a good time. What gives you the right?
He's not a serious football player.
You're not a serious football player.
No.
You got your ass dragged. All I did, I looked down for 1 second. I looked up and Chuba Hubbard or Foreman, one of the two on the long
that
run.
Foreman play? Oh my God!
I looked up and I'm like, who's getting dragged? Oh, it's 45.
Did you see?
Of course it is.
If you go look at that play, he's lined up as the backside, the linebacker on play. They go play side. Like, everybody gets a hat on a hat. They're getting, Vita Vea's in the game, and they're moving everybody off the line. But he's still got 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
There's nobody, he can make the play. He can come over and make the play. The offside offensive tackle, okay? You're 2 steps inside of him. He beats you to the play and then knocks the living crap out of you 10, and you're 10, 15 yards downfield. In the open field, you had a
10 yards.
You had a backup left tackle knock the crap out of you. Then you go over to make the play, and you can't even tackle the guy. You're getting dragged, and then you miss the tackle and knocked another guy off.
And
on the touchdown run, he overruns that play, then comes back to make a play, and the 2 Keystone Cops, Keanu O'Neal and Devin White, run into each other, and Chuba Hubbard runs into the end zone. I mean, it was
laughable.
It's laughable.
It was. All you could do was laugh. I started laughing yesterday. It's all
we want him to sit. We want him to set Devin White. He can't even set Luke Gedeke.
It's not happening. Again, Todd Bowles just gave you the message. Nothing's changing, and he keeps saying it. This is who we are. We have to own it. Okay, I understand that, but does Todd Bowles not get it? Like, this is your shot. Okay, how much do you really want to be here? Do you really want to be a head coach in the NFL? Do you want to have longevity?
And he's
you
not
got to
willing
make
to
hard
make
changes.
He's not willing to make
You
them.
will go down with this shit.
This is why you
and listen, the Glazers, they are quick to make changes.
You look at the greatest coach. You know who one of the biggest a-hole coaches in the history of the game? Don Shula. Don Shula.
Very fitting.
You talk to guys who played for Don Shula. He was a ruthless motherfucker. He was ruthless. And he would sit people, call people, cut people on the spot. I mean, Parcells was the same way. Bill Belichick, same way. Bruce Arians, super nice guy, great guy. But you cross him and you're not accountable.
He sat Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. He told Lenny Fournette, "You either get you're out of here."
He sat Ronald Jones.
He was a day away from cutting Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
You think Todd Bowles is cutting Leonard Fournette? No, he just said he's running back 1. Oh no, he's running back 1. There's no way we're getting rid of Leonard. You have the worst rushing attack in football, and you're not even considering benching your running back 1. And when you can see as well as I can that his vision right now is not very good, and when there's no push, Lenny's not a great back. When he has to make things happen himself.
I'm just thinking too, like there was one play too. I think he got a screen pass on the right.
Yeah.
And he gets it. He turns upfield. He looks. There's like 3 defenders in front of him. But what does he do? Rather than like trying to at least go straight.
Yeah. Oh, the tippy tap.
The Lenny shuffle.
The Lenny shuffle.
I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? You have one skill. It's called run straight and run somebody over.
And I'm not here to say Rashad White is the greatest thing ever. He's still young.
He's raw.
They ran a choice route for him on 3rd down. He runs up to the linebacker. He's got half the field to his right. Okay, there's another linebacker on the inside. Not only does he run up to the linebacker and do the Lenny shuffle, like I'm going to make you. And Brady's like, okay, which way you going? Can you make it? They're coming. Can you make a decision? And by the time he turns into the linebacker, instead of running to the open field, now Brady's on his back foot. He throws it over to Fournette, who's not even expecting the ball. And the guy, I mean, it's like, oh my God, what are we doing? It's so bad. It's so bad.
Again, these are things that, I'm laughing right now. And this is what I did for 10 years. For the last 10 years before Brady got here, this is all I could do was laugh, right? I just never thought in a million years with this cast, with this quarterback, that we'd be sitting here and we'd be getting these performances. In a million years, I never would have thought it.
I want to talk about the Phillies and Bryce Harper, but this is this is the worst that's ever happened. I just don't want to go to another subject because it's the worst.
It's hard to move on from this.
It's just the way, and this is what we live and die for, right? It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And by the way, the Lightning had a great weekend. Can we take let's take 5 minutes and talk about the Lightning. I said 3 out of 4 points would be great. and they're about 11 minutes from going to 1-4 Friday night against the Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe it spills over into Saturday night against the Islanders, which you didn't play great, but you got a nice 5-3 win. Now they're what 3-3 now, and you get 4 points on the weekend. And Pointer was amazing. We saw some great stuff from Hagel. Perbix is playing really well with Ian Cole. Again, they get 17 giveaways on Saturday night to the Islanders.
Finally got off the schneid.
They got outshot, I think, 34-26.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kaloran got off the schneid. Hagel got off the schneid. Who else got off the schneid?
Nick Paul got one.
Nick Paul got one. So yeah, they're scoring. The guys are getting into it. They're starting to find their game. I thought Elliott was really, really good. Moose was fantastic. Pointer's coming up with big goals like he used to. And now it's like, all right, this is our team. This is our team. And you don't want to make a big deal out of it. But if they come out of this weekend 1-5, and you're chasing points, and it's a much deeper Atlantic Division, that's not good. That's not good. So this was a big 2-game swing for them.
You know what I love too? Matthew Tkachuk, when he got acquired from Florida, said that there's a team that's a little bit north of us here that's had a lot of success and has run things here, and I guess I hate them now too. So I'm here to change that. And who put him on his ass the other day? Nick Perbix, the newest member to the Tampa Bay Lightning. That guy's winning me over right away.
Knocked his freaking helmet off.
Yeah, he's winning me over right away.
I like me some Perbix. I was doing a post show with Engblom. He loves it. And then Chief too. All the guys, they really like this kid. And we need it. We need somebody to step up and maybe, push some of these other guys.
Dare I say he's playing better than Michael?
Yeah. And Cernak did not post on Saturday night, but I think Cooper said he's going to be okay for the road trip. So they're on the road to LA and Anaheim and San Jose.
A lot of back-to-backs already.
Yeah. So we'll see Elliott again, but he was good. Moose was good. So I think this, and Engblom even said this, it's nice to get out on the road early on. Yep. You can bond, get these behind you. And of course you'll have more home games the rest of the year. So it was a big weekend for the Lightning. No doubt about that. What time we at? Bryce Harper. How about Bryce Harper with the historic shot, 2-run shot in the 8th inning that gives the Phillies the lead. They hold on to it, and they're into the World Series. The Philadelphia Phillies.
Man, they fired Joe Girardi after like 50 games this year. And
yeah.
The Nationals did the same thing, I think, or they were close to. They were bad, and they were about to fire Davey Martinez, went on a run, and they win the World Series. The Phillies, they look like a destiny team right now.
They really do.
And Bryce Harper, I tell you what, the call yesterday was like the swing of his life, whoever it was. I think it might have been Joe Davis. The swing of his life. And I'm like, you know what? We've been watching every swing of his since he was a teenager.
Since he was, when I first remember him, he was at the Trop.
Yeah.
He was at the Trop when he was like 16 or 17 years old as this young phenom playing on like a high school all-star game.
Yeah.
I was freaking hitting the back wall.
He was the best prospect probably we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, my point there is like the pressure on this guy to succeed. And it's like everything he does is magnified. Remember, he had tensions moments with the media.
A lot of
people didn't like him. He got the big money in Philadelphia. He's become a much better player. I think he's matured. Like a lot of the immature moments of him have gone away.
Being a young superstar is not easy, man.
I mean, I've never seen. I think he's so well liked now. Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like he went from being really hated to now well liked, and I'm rooting for them because I'm tired of the Astros. I just need something new. I just need something new, but I understand they're just amazing.
Aaron Judge, the Yankees get swept. Oh, sweet justice.
Yankees tears are beautiful on a Monday.
How about a half-full Yankee Stadium, $28 tickets? Oh, yeah, the Rays don't draw anything. You can't even fill up your plan. Oh, really, Yankee fan? Where were you last night? Empty stadium.
Literally, were you watching Broadway? What were you doing?
We were watching the Jets and the Giants is what they were doing.
Yeah, they moved on.
1 for 16.
They got good football to watch now.
0-63 against the Astros. I told you, the Yankees are a one-man show. Nobody else. How does Cashman keep his job? He spent, $2 billion since they've won a World Series? And that team is just so poorly constructed.
Does it look like they're behind the times?
Yes.
You want to know why? Because Brian Cashman was hired. He was hired in 1986. You look at there was a great breakdown of the Astros front office and the Yankees front office. The Yankees have people that have been around for 20 years in the same front office. The Astros, everybody was brand new in 2015, 2016, 2017. Everything's new.
The old man would have fired Cashman 6 times
Years
by
ago.
now.
And Boone? Oh, Boone.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he's taking out his best pitcher. He's pulling a Kevin Cash, taking out Garrett Cole the other night in a 2-0 game. And he's like, I wanted to keep it where it was. But you trust the relievers over Garrett Cole?
Oh, my God.
Who you're paying $350 million?
That was the dumb. Well, I hate to say Cash was dumb, but it was just.
Hey, and I'm gonna pimp the
him
Rays.
so much,
I'm gonna pimp the Rays real quick, by the way.
Okay.
The Yankees the Yankees, ever since the Astros have become this juggernaut, have been unable to beat the Astros in the playoffs. You want to know who did? The Rays did it in 2020. So I'm going to pimp the Rays real quick, and maybe this is more of a.
Oh, let's go back to the good old days when we had a real pitching staff.
I'm just saying that just makes me understand
Before
how
we
good that team was.
our World Series team.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying we're just understanding now how good that 2020 team was.
I'm starting to think that was a. I think Stu, that was a mean thing that he did.
A mean thing?
Yeah, you don't give $15 million to Charlie Morton. I think it was, you know what? I think he was like, and then he went out and spent the same amount of money on Archer and Hill and some other schlub. Waka. So actually, pitched pretty good. Should have held on to those guys. But seriously, he's like, it wasn't even about the money. He was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to dismantle this team. I'm going to trade Blake. We're too close. I don't want you fans to get a World Series. I hate you people at Tampa Bay so much. I'm going to dismantle.
I didn't mean
this
to take
team.
you down this rabbit hole. Now I was just merely pointing out
as mean as he's been since then. I think that's what's happening here. Like you could make a case.
Anyway, Phillies, Astros.
Stu lovers keep saying, "Oh, we have the best prospects."
Anyway, Phillies, Astros, World Series. There you go.
All right, what else did I need to get to? Let's take a break. We got time, baby? It's 52.
We don't have to take a break. We do have the bowl. Bowls is back up if you wanted to get to the rest of bowls.
All right,
here.
let's do it.
I'm gonna try to pick it up somewhere.
I wanted to talk about Jimbo Fisher losing at South Carolina. Yeah.
You know what? If we go over today, we go over. You know.
Do we talk about the new lineup at 6:20? No, you can't talk about your Todd Bowles when it comes to that. You can't talk about that. Look, I'll just say this quickly. Sorry, Ian, that you got fired. I guess the whole Ron and Ian thing didn't work out. Anyway, so now I love a lot of guys over there. There's a lot of guys over there I like, some I don't. They don't like me. Whatever. But those of all right. I'm trying to be nice. Most major markets go out and pay for iconic players that have played in that market or have some former players on their roster or guys that have been beat writers. Like they used to have Tom and Rick. They used to have Chris Tom, guys that have been on TV, network TV, like, and local TV like myself and been journalists for a long, long time or have extensive resumes. That's what most major markets have, especially if you have only one station. They go out and they pay for a lot of talent. And they just don't do that over there. Nice guys, good dudes, but that's what major markets do. They bring in major market talent. And, I wish them the best with their new lineup, but they're cheating the fans. If you're the only station in town and you have all this money, you should go out and pay for talent and get big name talent in there that people can listen to. Thank God that you did not. It's great because that leaves a great opportunity for someone else to come in and build a roster of great talent of sports radio. And trust me, that's happening. I'll just say that. Trust me, that's happening. All right, let's go to Todd Bowles.
Points against a really good team in Kansas City, to 21 against the Falcons, 18 against a one-win Pittsburgh team, and then 3. That's a very dangerous slide for your offense. How would you just describe what's been happening in terms of the point production or lack thereof over the past month?
Shooting ourselves in the foot. It's something we know that was on the schedule and we prepared for it.
Todd, is this a good time or maybe a bad time for your team right now? After play a game on a Thursday, after a demoralizing loss like that on Sunday, is it good to kind of get out there and get a chance to get that taste out of your mouth, or does this team to really have a full week of practice to improve it? You can't because of the Thursday game, but where's your team mentally?
Mentally, we're fine. We want to get back out there and get the sour taste out of our mouths. We can't wait to play again. But at the same time, there are steps to playing a game on Thursday. And today is only Monday. So we got to take those steps and get ready for Thursday.
You guys had Carlton listed initially as questionable and then downgraded.
Stop it down. We're fine mentally? We're fine mentally.
That's what he said.
I mean, that's just, I don't even know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say. This is it. I mean, this is pretty much Todd Bowles. His philosophy is to call nobody out publicly, not make any waves publicly, just answer the questions as blandly and take care of everything interior, which is fine if you can do it, but you're not doing it. And your tenure at New York and now your tenure here suggests that your philosophy of showing no emotion, not calling out anybody publicly, doesn't work. So if you're going to continue to do it, we got to call it out. As much as I love Todd, and he's a great dude, he's a fantastic man, great father, way better dude than I am. I mean, he's unbelievable, great role model. Love the guy personally. So I'm just talking about football. That this philosophy doesn't work. It doesn't work. You got to have some accountability publicly, I think.
Is he in play for Thursday? That seemed at the time like something
Carlton
might have
Davis.
moved to sit him for one game with the hopes he might be available for the Ravens game.
No, we got to see what he does this week. You know, he came out Friday and did some things and didn't feel well, so that kind of set him back. I just want to see how far he is this week.
You've gone 3 games now without forcing takeaways as a defense. How much of that starts with a lack of pressure and getting pressure just from your front?
It doesn't start with lack of pressure. It starts with punching the ball out. It starts with making plays on the ball down the field. Pressure helps it, but it has nothing to do with pressure. You got to get turnovers regardless, whether we rush 4, 5, 6, or 3. And we try to get turnovers. We practice it. We punch the ball out. We show clips of it. And they come in bunches. So hopefully this will be the end of it and we can get some more.
Did he just say pressure has nothing to do with it?
He did
Is
say
what
that.
Did you say?
Yes, he did.
Now, I know he doesn't believe that. So why just say it? I mean, just to disagree with Greg's question.
I'm at a loss of words again.
You have to, and it's, by the way, I've been looking at you're looking at these certain situations, these 3rd and longs against Pittsburgh. We didn't blitz one time. Not one time.
Yeah,
you let Trubisky sit back there and
odd?
make it.
This guy's blitz more than anybody in the league. There's no blitz. I feel like there's hardly any blitzes anymore.
He's Mr. Blitz.
Not this year.
What are we doing?
You know what's funny? You know what I find interesting? He still calling the defense? Because this is an interesting point. There was a lot of changes.
I thought he was.
There was a lot of changes to the defensive staff now.
Yeah.
Okay, or at least roles.
Right.
Like Larry Foote's doing linebackers. I think Casey Rogers doing defensive line.
And he's the defense coordinator.
And is he the de facto defensive coordinator? But I wonder, it's like, is there too many people like kind of with a say here? Like, is he really
too many cooks in the kitchen?
Too many cooks in the kitchen. That's a good way to put it. I
mean,
mean, because it looks different. It looks
different.
different.
Yeah, it looks way different, and the pressure has not been.
This does not look like a Todd Bowles defense from a pressure standpoint.
And there were a lot more corner blitzes early on in the season. Antoine Winfield coming off.
And that went away.
Haven't seen a lot of that. Haven't seen a lot of the double A gap blitzes in the last couple weeks. First of all, Devin White doesn't know how to play that line. I would blitz him on every play. I'd run blitz him and just
that's all he wants to do. Anyway.
We'll cover other guys in other ways. You just go. Seriously, if you're gonna play him, that's the way you should play him. Just go, because he is great at that. He's great at rushing the passer. Just
is he?
He is. When you send him, he's pretty quick.
I don't know. He kind of overruns it a lot, though.
Well, that's true. But he does get the initial pressure and chase him into other guys. So even though
the quarterback just goes, phew.
Yeah, instead he does come in out of control and whips most of the time, but usually that gives somebody else time to clean up, right? So at least you got that going on, but you don't even have that going on. How do you say pressure has nothing to do with it? I mean, what are we doing?
You're getting
here?
nothing. Like who? Like again, I'll go name for name. I don't know what Tryon's giving you. I don't know what Shaq's giving you. I have no idea. Is Will Golston playing? Is he actually playing?
Yeah, he's been playing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Like I'm not counting on Will Golston to do those things, but I'm just saying like he's kind of looks like he's just out there.
You know who's not playing? Akeem Hicks is not playing.
Akeem Hicks is not playing,
which means they don't. You've gone from Ndamukong Suh, who I know wasn't really athletic, but can certainly stop the run and stays in his gaps and helps out Devin White, and to Logan Hall, who's a 290-pound rookie.
And you weren't expecting him to have to play
gets
this
moved
much.
and is not a run defender at all. And to God bless Nacho, but he's just not that big. Plays with tons of heart. I love it, but he's just not that big. So yeah, you got a lot of issues up front. You can't stop the run, and you're not pressuring anybody.
It's a bad football team. It's a bad football team.
Yeah.
Finish with Bowles here.
Todd, Shaq Barrett had 2 tackles yesterday. I know he's a guy with a lot of pride. I don't think it's an effort thing. Is it a discipline thing? What's been his issue lately these last couple of games?
I don't think he had the chance to rush a passer, so to speak. We can get better at rushing the pass on the edge. Him and Joe both can get better there. And we're trying to contain more quarterbacks than we're trying to rush. I think they got to pin their ears back and rush. His effort is fine. Just got to get better results.
Todd, what type of challenge does a guy like Lamar Jackson bring? He's such a unique individual in terms of what he can do with his feet, with his arm, etc.
He brings a huge challenge for us because he's probably the best runner, not just quarterback runner, but one of the best runners in the league. Very smart, can throw the ball down the field, strong arm, very elusive. Even if you blitz him, you're not going to catch him. So we got to have some different ways of trying to play him. A lot of people have tried, a lot of people has failed. He's a winner. He comes out to compete every week and plays every week, plays smart. Like watching him play when we're not playing him, but we got to come out and play our game and just try to make sure he doesn't kill us out the pocket. We can't stop him. We got to slow him down enough to where we can make some plays.
Brady has only 1 interception so far, which is commendable, but he also only has 8 touchdowns in 7 games. We see him dirtying the ball. We see him throwing the ball out of bounds. It seems like he's going out of a way to avoid mistakes and avoid turnovers. Could it be that you need him to be more aggressive, to take more risks just at the expense of making plays?
That comes as an offense. That comes as an offense as far as not just him making plays, everyone else. We got to call it right. We got to block it right. We got to get downfield and we got to get open. There's a lot of variables that go into that right there. And every time it's something different, so it's just not Tom's fault. We commend him for not throwing picks, but we need more big plays on offense or consistent plays from everybody.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Wow. Just wow.
Even
did that sound like a 5-alarm fire? Did that sound like we're going to make wholesale changes? Did that sound like it was just like, yeah, Luke's going to play. Oh my gosh. It's just, I'm sorry. I love Todd, but that is a lack of leadership.
We got to play it better. We got to coach it better. We got to execute better. That's all you hear.
I said I had to see the Bucs. This game opened just before the season. The Ravens game opened with the Bucs as a 3.5-point favorite. Now it's already been bet to Ravens by 1.5, but my God, the Ravens are going to beat this team by 60 points.
Well, let's see though. I mean, have the Bucs played down to their competition? Will they wake up? If you're going to wake up for a game, can you wake up for the Ravens?
I'm going to have to take out a low interest loan for this. Even a high interest loan. Literally, I may bet.
Oh man,
my mortgage and yours and everybody else is on this.
Yeah.
I'm pointing the hat. The Ravens are going to win this game by 40 points. Lamar Jackson may run for 350
Lamar
yards.
Jackson is licking his chops and getting a chance to go up against Devin White.
Like I'm going to take every over on Ravens prop bets, like whatever Lamar's rushing to everything. This defense is going to get absolutely obliterated. Because even if Carlton Davis plays, Anton Winfield's not going to play. Their best defensive player. They can't contain a quarterback. They're not going to score. They're not going to score at all.
This team likes to run the ball, but the Bucs have already proven they can't stop the run.
They can't stop the run. Yeah.
They get beaten off blocks.
Jeez. 1.5.
Mark Andrews. Oh, geez.
Mark Andrews. Oh, my God.
Who didn't have a catch, by the way, this week, so he's going to be out to revenge that. Oh, man.
Well, listen, just wrapping this up. It is as bad a loss as I've seen. This may be worse than the Raheem years.
This is
because at least you expect those
knew it
teams
was
were
happening.
bad. This team is just so bad right now, and so much of it has to do with coaching and lack of and to say your team is mentally fine. It's just, I mean, that's one of the most bizarre press conferences I think I've ever seen.
Yep.
Pressure, turnovers have nothing to do with pressure. Luke Gedicke's going to start if he's healthy, and mentally we're fine. So what? That was
Yeah, you summed it up. Man, I can't wait. Does Leftwich speak before Thursday? Because he usually speaks on Thursdays. Does he speak before the game?
So, there'll be a whole different schedule.
Boy,
so
I can't wait.
Probably, well, it won't be Wednesday because it's the day before the game. Everything gets compressed, so maybe they might talk to. They may just cancel it this week.
No.
But
That,
again,
he needs to speak.
I think all you people that are just heaping everything on Leftwich, that's wrong. That's wrong.
I'm not
it's
trying.
not just him.
It's not just him, but I still think he's public enemy number one.
I know.
My opinion.
No, because he doesn't have the ball in his hand every play. That's Brady. To me, Brady is the biggest issue. There's all issues, but more because everything that he does, you're not set up to do. And so you're trying to this. It's not fair to Tom Brady. It's just not, especially if you keep putting Luke Gedicke out there. It's just not fair. All right. Our thanks to Dan Lucas, who joined us earlier. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Please tell all your friends about the show. You can listen to it anytime, anywhere, a lot less commercials than the other place. And we give you hopefully the best analysis and 2 hours of all Tampa Bay centric sports. Appreciate you guys watching and listening. Please like our YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page and with our social media as well. Have a great day, everybody. Go Bolts.